Franz von Kearney, writings by Frank Schmidt on the Danube Swabian people. These collected writings are republished in memory of the author, Frank Schmidt, so that others may continue to enjoy his work. May his spirit live on. Emigration to the New World. The first Danube Swabians, then known as German Hungarians, settled in Canada and the USA over 100 years ago. They were among the earliest European colonists in the Northwest Territories, the provinces of Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, as well as North Dakota and the Midwestern states. The majority, however, settled in big cities such as Chicago and New York. The descendants of those early immigrants have been thoroughly assimilated, have lost their German language, and the younger generation knows practically nothing of their heritage. The second wave of Danube Swabians came in the 1920s after the partition of their homeland, partly to escape military service to foreign armies, but mostly for economic betterment. They too had to first settle in the western provinces, but many migrated to Ontario and Quebec during the Depression to find work. Those who were allowed into the USA settled in major cities from New York to Milwaukee, as well as California. They stayed and eventually prospered. The third, and by far the largest group, came in the early 1950s. They were expelled from their homelands and survivors of Tito's death camps. Although stateless and penniless on arrival, they too have been absorbed into established North American society without causing a ripple of resentment. Perhaps this is because they have been so undemanding, and their social values are similar to those of the majority of the population. Counting the descendants of the original Danube immigrants, all of whom are native-born Americans or Canadians, as well as post-World War II immigrants. The Danube Swabian community numbers. The Danube Swabian community numbers somewhat over 500,000 honest souls in both countries. Since their homeland no longer exists, it has not been a source of immigration for half a century. Consequently, the vast majority of Danube Swabians in North America are native-born. But it is the older generation that still keeps the language and customs alive. In former homelands, Danube Swabians were not free to promote their culture, and are thankful that they can do so in Canada and the USA without hindrance from governments. They count this as one of the blessings of living in a free society. To keep old traditions alive, they have established clubs in New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, Missouri, California, and other states, as well as in southern Ontario, that try to keep old customs alive. But it is a losing battle, and it would be a shame if Danube Swabians would do unto themselves what their former overlords tried to do to them, without total success, which was to wipe them from the face of the earth. Danube Swabians have been assimilated so well that they have hardly been noticed. So well, in fact, that there is some danger that their language and culture will die out. Sadly, the day is bound to come early in the 21st century when one of their descendants will ask just who were the Danube Swabians, and there won't be anyone around who is informed enough to answer that question. The state people in former home countries should be reminded that if it had not been for the German ancestors of the Danube Swabians who liberated the region from the Turkish domination, there might still be an Ottoman Turkish Empire in Europe, but no Hungary, Romanians, or Yugoslavs today. That they exist is the legacy the Danube Swabians bestowed on those who elected not to share the earth with them. Danube Swabians are now scattered over 4 continents and have become good citizens of at least a dozen countries. They have had to adjust their lives and have learned a lot, but no one had to teach them anything about human decency, tolerance, multiculturalism, and peaceful coexistence. Despite their ordeal, they have never lost their humanity or virtues. It is not within them to seek revenge, nor do they bear grudges or hatred, even against their tormentors. Although they lost all their material possessions in Europe and were the victims of genocide, they do not dwell unduly on past wrongs, but look to the future with hope and abiding faith in their own abilities. No one has yet been able to deprive them of their humanity, their ingrained work ethic, their sense of justice and order. They have lived in peace for centuries through some of the most volatile times in Europe and need no lessons in tolerance. Having suffered so much because of their German heritage, their only desire is to live in peace and harmony and wish that others would do the same. We truly appreciate your time spent listening to this captivating episode delving into the history of the Donauschwaben on the Franz von Kearney YouTube channel. Our content is richly inspired by the insightful writings of Frank Schmidt, unraveling the fascinating narrative of the Danube Swabians. If this episode resonated with you, we kindly invite you to show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your fellow Donauschwaben relatives, friends, and social clubs. Anyone with an interest in the captivating history of the Danube Swabians. These little things really do help a new channel out. If you're interested in more information on the Donauschwaben or this episode, explore the show notes below for links and related material. Once again, we extend our heartfelt gratitude for tuning in. Until next time.
Wir sind Donauschwaben, Kinderskinder.